Must be that time of the year, is it, Adam?
It is.
Putting up the good old Crimbo lights.
Just trying to untangle them every year.
You're normally really good at keeping them nice and organised and tangle free.
The ones I did are tangle free. But someone else has been at them.
Who would that be? Oh, you're putting the lights up here as well?
Partly so we can see what we're doing.
Ah, so we've actually got we'll have a little bit of light in this courtyard for when we're working.
Oh no, so we've got light in here full stop because it's like a black hole.
You're supervising. So this gravel eventually is going to be replaced with something much nicer anyway, a nicer gravel. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking off some of the top layer of gravel, and then I'm going to take it around into the little courtyard and fill where we lifted up the slabs to raise the area and make it level for the base of the cabin. Just so it's not sand and earth underneath. So figured best off doing that now before we start actually building the cabin. Hope you're enjoying this week's video. If you are, as always, remember to give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that hype button as it really does help us. And Benji and I will love you forever and ever. Won't we, Benji? Eh? Mwah. How's it going, Adam?
Well, we've got electric over here.
We've got power over here. These aren't the LED, the solar ones.
No, it goes from the house now
Oh wow.
over to that junction box.
I thought they looked a lot brighter than the solar ones.
Yeah.
Well done. But that was quite a challenge, was it? Getting power from the cottage all the way down here.
Yes.
Sparks in every move, sparks in every day, sparks on every way. Oh, sparks in every move, sparks in every day, sparks on every way.
This week, I'm starting work on my office refurbishment. So I've ordered some wood flooring, which is due to be delivered a little later on this week. I've ordered paint, which has already been delivered. And I'm in the process of ordering everything that I need to build my bespoke workstation. If you remember, I showed you a couple of weeks ago a couple of concept images of the designs that I have in my head on how I'd like this to look. But the first thing I need to do before I can start anything is declutter this space. So all of this stuff, I need to get rid of it, get it down these awkward spiral staircases, and find somewhere to store it for the time being. So the plan is I want to get as much painting done as I possibly can before the new flooring goes down. So I'll be painting the ceiling and these sloping walls here. I'll be painting this back gable wall, and I won't be painting this wall yet because this is where my workstation's gonna go. So I'll be painting that closer to the time once I build and fully design that. And there'll be paneling behind it and things like that as well if you're just thinking back to my original design. So there's no point painting that when it's going to be covered over with paneling and shelving and cabinets and things. That is just a waste of paint. But what I can do in the meantime, get the ceiling painted and get that back wall painted. But like I said, I need to make a start at getting rid of some of this crap out of here. All of these boxes that have been... God knows what's in them. They've been up here for a year since we moved into the cottage. So this will be a perfect opportunity to have a little bit of a declutter as well. What have I not used in the last year? And if I haven't used it in the last year, will I miss it if I get shot of it? So let's make a start.
I guess I thought you'd live forever. I always thought we'd be together.
All of these garden cushions can just go in the attic for the time being. Until next summer.
Off chance I notice you show your age. Just a bird in a cage, too weak to sing again.
See, a lot of this is Benji's bedding, which takes out a lot of space. So hopefully once I get the storage, it'll all be able to go in there. Benji's bed.
Stay up here.
Huh? Stay up here?
Well, for now.
What, when I'm painting and stuff?
Were you painting tonight?
I mean, it might do.
No. Let's be realistic in this area.
It's kisses.
It's hard work, isn't it?
How much stuff don't you throw away?
Well, good thing is we've got that half of the room cleared.
Yeah.
Apart from a few bits and bobs, and Benji's bed's still down there because he'll be crying if he can't come up here and keep me company while I'm working. Yes, I will still be having to work in this space during the refurbishment. So it's just that over there to do now. But I'm telling you now, Adam, there's some very heavy boxes there because there's lots and lots of books
But
that I never read.
why are we keeping police helmets?
That was from my fancy dress one year.
Scooby-Doo's. Another Scooby-Doo.
I like Scooby-Doo, what can I say? They were a gift from somebody.
Who was that?
Couldn't possibly say. Right, let's get this shifted because this is going to be a nightmare. Where are we putting it all, by the way?
In the loft.
In the attic? We're storing it all in the attic.
Why have you got my steampunk goggles in here?
That was part of my fancy dress costume.
Well, I'm having them now.
Before you started doing steampunk.
Well, that's oh, and a hat. I'll have that as well. Make use of it.
So we have to take all of these heavy boxes of books down this staircase and then up the ladder into the attic. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. Never to be seen light of day again.
Come on then, let's do this. Oh my god. One of us is going to end up falling and breaking our necks in a minute. Help me. It's heavy.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
God, I'm sweating. That was hard work. Right. So I think that's pretty much it. So the only thing that's left is stuff that I'm going to be using, obviously my desk and my computer, Benji's bed over there, this pine blanket box, we were going to upcycle it and use that in the bedroom, but we've now no space, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. But that won't fit down the spiral staircase, so I either need to fit it out the Velux or break it up, see if it'll come apart and take it downstairs. And then all I need to do is paint. And then lift up this flooring, put the new one down when that comes, and then we're well on our way to a nice, beautiful office refurbishment. And it's going to be such a lovely place to work in, given that I spend so much of my time stuck up here working. It's chilly today and it's actually forecast to be raining this afternoon, but this can't stay on the driveway forever, so we're going to unpack it, take it around the back and at least try and attempt to build the base before the weather turns. Let's see how far we get. I don't have much hope though for getting a lot done. So because there was no easy access to the back of the cottage, we're just going to have to decant this a little at a time and carry it around by hand. there, Adam?
I should think so.
I can't believe we had to shift all that just to get to the base that we need right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh well, it all needs moving anyway.
Some good firewood, I'm telling you.
Expensive firewood. Adam, we have our driveway back.
Then you can get out.
Well done. Right, let's go and get a cup of tea. Soaked.
Time will leave our troubles behind.
I think Adam's going to be a little bit annoyed if it's blew all of his Christmas lights down that he's only just put up.
There's a place in my mind where I want to be. I imagine you sitting next to me, driving into the night. We're still young and free, holding hands with no place when you're kissing me. Ocean in motion, watching your leave. Ocean in motion, will I get it right this time?
Don't know if you can hear that, but it is super stormy outside tonight. The wind and the rain are just battering the cottage. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm just mapping out exactly where my new workstation is going to go. So what I did is I planned all this out on paper. I had the dimensions of the, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, the concepts, the mock-ups that I'd created. I said I was going to do a bit of an IKEA hack and use IKEA kitchen cabinets to build my bespoke workstation. So I have all the dimensions of the kitchen cabinets, and I'm basically trying to maximize this space and create as much storage as I possibly can, because we are quite limited for storage up here, well, in the cottage as a whole. And if you remember all of the clutter that was up here, which is now being shifted downstairs and up into the attic and everywhere, just it's all over the place at the moment. So hopefully this will give me enough storage to put everything back in here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to have my desk area here. The cabinets are going to run the full width with a worktop, but there's going to be a recess here, obviously, so I can sit my my desk chair under there. We're going to have 2 columns of drawers with 3 drawers in each set. So we're going to have a set of drawers here and a set of drawers here. And then on either side, we're going to have 2 large 600mm by 600mm cupboards, and the same on this side as well. This will be the thickness of the worktop, so it'll be around 40mm thick, and the whole thing will sit on a plinth that Adam and I will build, which is going to have 170mm height skirting board. And the reason the skirting board is going to be so high, I'll show you in a second, because we decided to go for skirting board covers. I'll explain that in just a second. Above my desk, we're going to have the bead and butt paneling here, the vertical paneling. What that will do from a design perspective is having the vertical paneling will create the illusion of extra height, given that the ceiling's quite low in this space. We'll have two sections of MDF here around 18 millimeters thick, and then we'll have 18 millimeter thick horizontal pieces of MDF here for the shelves. So we're going to have approximately 35 centimeters, so 350 mil gap between the shelves. And the reason for that is because I want the shelves to be tall enough so I can comfortably fit files and books and things like that on. There's nothing worse than having an A4 pad or book and trying to put it on the shelf and then you realise the shelf's too low. So that'll give me plenty of height to store stuff on the shelves. There will be a little bit of space at either end, probably around between 10 and 15 centimeter space on either end. There's nothing I can do about that because the size of the IKEA kitchen cabinets, they are what they are. I can't afford to have anything bespoke made. So what I'll do, 10 or 15 centimeters, it's only about that wide on either side. So I'll just add a panel to either side. There's no point trying to shoehorn extra storage in there because it's just too narrow a space. And at that end, it's where the ceiling starts to slope downwards anyway. So like I said, there's not really a lot I can do with that. So I thought, plan it all out, and then once I get everything, I know exactly where everything's going to go, and also just to double check that what I have in my basket at IKEA on the IKEA website, just to double check that it is actually going to fit in this physical space before I purchase it. Because there's nothing worse than planning it all out on paper and you order it and it's delivered and then you realise you've messed up with the calculations. You know, I don't claim to be very good at maths or DIY for that matter. I do my best. So drawing this out on the wall in my own head gives me a better idea that will work. Okay, so going back to the skirting boards. So the skirting boards in here are pretty naff. The way they've been fit, the way they've been mitered or scribed at the ends is truly atrocious. When whoever laid the flooring, I don't know if it was the previous owners or the previous owners, when they laid the laminate flooring, rather than remove the skirting boards, put the flooring down with an expansion gap and then put the skirting boards back on top, what they decided to do was put the skirting boards up to the laminate flooring up to the skirting board, obviously leaving the expansion gap, and then they've put this horrible scotia over the top of it to cover the expansion gap. And you can see the join is absolutely terrible. So this is going to get ripped up. Now, I had considered removing the skirting board and just replacing it with a nicer skirting board. But what we realised is similar to the porch, when we removed the skirting boards in the porch, is somebody at some point has skimmed the walls, replastered them, and they've skimmed down to the skirting board, which means when we take the skirting boards off, there would be a difference in thickness of plaster. Does that make sense? So when you put a new skirting board on, it's going to be on the wonk. You would need to pad it out, and it's just going to be a right faff. So I feel like that would be an awful lot of work. The easiest option in my head is to purchase, you can buy the skirting board covers. I mentioned these when we were doing the porch refurbishment, and they have a recess cut out of the back of the skirting board, and they just pop over the existing skirting board. No ripping the old skirting board off, no replastering, no faffing about. It just goes on. But in order to do that, the new skirting board with the recess cut out, it needs to be high enough to cover the existing skirting board and then some, because obviously you've got the detail on the top of it. So they work out at 17 centimeters high or 117 millimeters high, which means obviously I'm going to have the same skirting board running round the bottom of my workstation cabinets. So that means, I don't know if you can see, but this line here, that's going to be the height of the skirting board, so the cabinets are going to sit above that height. So it's trying to work it all out in my head, and I think I've got it. All I need to do now is wait for the flooring to arrive so I can rip this up, put the new flooring down, put the cabinets in, put the skirting boards down. I make it sound so easy, don't I? But it really isn't going to be, because nothing is ever straightforward in this cottage. On that note, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea. Well, that's the outside of the cottage looking rather festive, and now we're away to work on the inside. Have a great week, guys, and the three of us will see you next week.
Hang on. We need another one.
Another one?
Yeah, another one.
For who?
For